Okay, guys, it's time for game number 1 between ViperMusashi and Omee. Omee did pick Overgrowth. I apologize for not including that in the archive video on accident. Yeah, here we go. Also, hey, shout out to some of the people hanging out in the chat. We got Deploy, String C, ViperMusashi, Monosaurus Rex, Poison Wolf. Nice to see you guys. Let's do this. Of course, Viper's here. I don't know why I read his name. He's playing. Alright, whatever. I'm losing my mind, guys. Here we go. Overgrowth. There's 2 features of Overgrowth that were real important for us to talk about. Feature number 1, of course. Can't wait until after we introduce the players. In the bottom left part of the map, sitting here on Overgrowth Ladder Edition, it is none other than DJ Clan's Omee. In the top right of the map, we have his opponent also in the Zerg pieces, but sporting the red color instead, it is ViperMusashi. Now, what's so important about Overgrowth? Well, you'll notice if you look down on the minimap that the size of the viewing panel is actually quite large here. That's because Overgrowth is not a very big map. Second thing that's important to notice about it is that it's pretty much a straight shot from this part of the map to the top part of the map. So rush distances are actually pretty small here. That may come into play. If I had to guess, it's probably going to come into play because Omee almost always uses a very fast, aggressive style. Not necessarily what I would call cheesy, but he definitely will grab lings in quick speed and try to put the hurt in his opponent as quickly as he can. Now, Viper is definitely aware of this, having already played him in one show match before. This is their second best of 3 series. And for now, though, it looks like both of them are just going to hang back a bit. So we got 14. Is it going to be 14 hatchery here? Yes. No. Just going out for the scout. Okay. Just going to wait a little bit longer to see what Omee's doing. Usually you come down here and we get to find out pretty quickly. There we go. There's the spawning pool from ViperMusashi. Hatchery from Omee. Now, this is going to mean that Viper can get his lings out a little bit quicker if he decides to go for some pressure. If he just goes from here into getting a hatchery, though, and Omee just goes from here into getting a spawning pool, they will end up in about the same place without too much of a difference. Except, of course, that Omee is going to see that the hatchery hadn't gone up quite yet, and he's going to discover the existence of this spawning pool. So we'll definitely see him throw down one of his own. Probably just a moment here. Bam! There it goes. Fantastic. Alright, so both players have seen pretty much, I think, what the other person is up to. ViperMusashi actually has not, because he doesn't have a scout across the map, but he will be able to get a couple lings to run up here pretty easily, or even just take this Overlord and scout that the spawning pool isn't done, which should give him a good idea of what's been going on here. The only thing he'd have to confirm after that is that Omee isn't going for double hash before pool or anything particularly insane like that. This gas actually should be an indicator that that isn't happening. But, okay. Can he actually see that from there? Yes, he can. Okay. So both players are aware of what's going on in this game, and we're pretty much just going to wait from here into the next stage of the game, which is going to be, we've mined enough to grab speed. It looks like he's going to keep his guys in there, so it's probably going to be going from there into a baneling nest. Omee is maybe doing something similar. We'll find out in just a moment. And the only real big difference is that Omee's economy is going to be up and running just a little bit quicker than Viper's, whereas Viper's army is going to be a little bit bigger, just a little bit quicker. Not to mention he also has queens a little bit quicker. So all that may not end up mattering too much in this. It depends kind of on what their next actions are going to be. And it looks like Viper may just be grabbing this army and just this small blot of lings with this queen and spinecrawler just for purely defensive reasons. So it looks like we're going to see kind of a repeat of the previous game where Omee was the one putting on the pressure. And here we go. We have a total of 10 lings moving out across the map. One of them actually moving to the other watchtower here. Doesn't look like he's setting up for an attack just yet or anything along those lines. 8 more lings coming out for Omee, so definitely wants to start putting on the pressure. Only has one guy in gas now, though. Don't know if that's an error, if he left it there intentionally. I think I might ask about that, just to increase my knowledge. Still has another, basically 50 seconds until speed is out. I think this formation here from Viper should actually be good enough to hold this off. if this were more into this corner, but actually with this little opening right here, you can get right past the spine crawler and just go straight up here and start killing things, and it's going to be pretty tough to deal with. But no, it looks like he's actually just going to wait for speed to finish, which will give him enormous power in the direct engagement. Viper's going to go from here into roaches. This is a nice choice given the history of his opponent loving banelings so much. Though it looks like Omee isn't even going to do that. He's just going to get a lot of lings and throw them at his opponent and see what he can do. He's going to go right past the flying crawler. As I mentioned, that was a possibility, could happen earlier. And now he's attacking a number of different targets. He's going a little bit after the spawning pool, a little bit after the queen. Not really able to kill either. Causing some trouble back there over at the main base here. Let's see if I can actually do this fancy thing that Zero loves to do. Yeah, zoom out. Ling's actually doing a decent amount of damage up here in the high ground, but the drones have cleaned it up. Meanwhile, in the low ground, they've killed the spine crawler, the queen, and are actually, looks like they're going to basically destroy the natural here, and they're going to be able to take out the roach warren on top of that if they were to continue focusing there. Nope, does take out one of the drones that was originally going to be a evolution chamber, and is now engaging against some of the links coming out from ViperMusashi. We do have a few more reinforcements coming out from back home from Omee across the map here, and it looks like for now though that this push is starting to run out of steam a little bit, but it has done a pretty impressive amount of damage. 17 workers killed by Omee this game, putting him at a 8-worker lead, and potentially more as more and more lings start flowing into the base. We have only one roach coming out here for ViperMusashi, which is definitely not going to be enough to deal with this. And I hate to say it, but I think it's looking pretty grim for our red Zerg right now. He actually may be just about to lose this, even with another hatchery coming out behind this. Omee not doing anything fancy, just grabbing a lot of lings, grabbing a lot of speed, and using his control to bring himself to victory. Second roach coming out. Then again, just not going to be able to do much against this. This was a good idea coming from ViperMusashi, but, you know, without the baneling tech for them to be good against, it's not quite enough.